5,000 years ago, massive, meticulously planned cities thrived across South Asia. They housed tens of thousands of people, operated complex trade networks, and then, slowly, emptied out, leaving behind silent brick ruins buried in dust. For decades, historians assumed a society this advanced must have been imported. Early theories suggested colonists or pastoralists migrated from the west and planted these sophisticated cities fully formed along the Indus River. Excavations at a site called Mehrgarh, located in modern-day Pakistan, proved otherwise. Archaeologists digging there found a continuous sequence of human occupation stretching back nearly 9,000 years. Deep in the sediment, the evidence shows generations of early inhabitants experimenting with agriculture. They slowly learned to cultivate wild wheat and barley, and they gradually domesticated local zebu cattle from wild herds. The Indus Valley Civilization grew directly from these local roots. It was an indigenous society built through thousands of years of steady agricultural and social progress by the first farmers of the subcontinent. By 2600 BCE, those early farming villages had expanded into a massive network. At its peak, the Indus Valley Civilization covered an area spanning modern-day Afghanistan, Pakistan, and northwestern India, a geographic footprint far larger than contemporary Egypt or Mesopotamia. The borders of this network were defined by strategic resource nodes. Far to the north in Afghanistan, the outpost of Shortugai secured access to lapis lazuli, while the coastal port of Sutka Gondor in the west controlled maritime trade routes to the Persian Gulf. The scale of these settlements is clearest in the ruins of Mohenjo-daro. Builders constructed the city on massive, artificial platforms of sun-dried mud bricks and rammed earth, elevating the population safely above seasonal floods. While Mohenjo-daro relied on millions of baked clay bricks, cities further south adapted to their environments. The metropolis of Dholavira, located in the arid region of Gujarat, was built almost entirely out of massive, locally quarried sandstone blocks. Regardless of the material, the focus was always on civic function. These cities devoted their resources and engineering to public utility, resulting in some of the most advanced urban planning of the ancient world. That planning started with the streets. The major cities were laid out in precise gridiron patterns, aligned to the cardinal directions. Thick, windowless exterior walls faced the main thoroughfares to insulate the residents from heat and noise, with daily life focused inward around private courtyards. Public health and hygiene were paramount. Almost every home had a private well and a toilet connected to a covered citywide drainage system. At Mohenjo-daro, the Great Bath featured a large public tank lined with closely fitted bricks and sealed with natural bitumen to prevent seepage. In the deeply arid Rann of Kutch, the residents of Dholavira engineered a way to survive the dry seasons. They carved over 16 massive reservoirs directly into the rock, creating a network of channels to capture and store every drop of monsoon rain. This engineering required extreme standardization. Across thousands of miles, Harappan builders produced millions of bricks in the exact same proportions, a ratio of 1 to 2 to 4, whether they were building a small residential wall or a massive urban fortification. This uniformity points to an organized, highly disciplined administration. Without relying on military conquest, the Harappan state unified a massive population through shared measurements, built efficient infrastructure, and a standardized economy. Yet, compared to its contemporaries, the Indus Valley lacks the usual markers of ancient authority. Archaeologists have found no sprawling royal palaces, no dynastic tombs, and no towering monuments dedicated to specific kings or generals. The specifics of their social hierarchy are recorded in a script that remains entirely unread. Thousands of steatite seals have been recovered, featuring sharp geometric symbols and animal iconography, like the prominent zebu bull. Because researchers have never found a bilingual text like the Rosetta Stone, there is no way to cross-reference these symbols with known languages. The names of their leaders, their laws, and the details of their religious beliefs remain silent. With their texts unreadable, we have to interpret their society through what they physically built. The architecture left behind reveals a culture prioritizing the collective well-being and practical utility of its citizens over the glorification of a ruling elite. For over a century, early historians argued that these cities were violently destroyed by invading armies, pointing to unburied skeletons and the sudden collapse of urban life. Modern archaeology has completely dismantled that theory. The true catalyst was environmental. Around 1900 BCE, the region's climate began to dry. The monsoon rains weakened, and tectonic shifts altered river courses. The vital Ghaggar-Hakra river network, which supported countless settlements, gradually lost its glacial water sources and dried up. Unable to sustain massive urban populations without reliable water, the cities were slowly abandoned. Over several centuries, the inhabitants decentralized, migrating eastward into the Ganges Basin and southward into Gujarat in search of stable monsoon patterns. The civilization did not end in a sudden apocalypse. It underwent a pragmatic adaptation. The people traded the density of the megacities for the resilience of smaller, rural farming communities. This slow migration feeds into one of the longest-running debates in South Asian history, the origin of Indo-Aryan languages and the genetic makeup of the subcontinent. To resolve this, scientists recently turned to archaeogenetics. In 2015, archaeologists uncovered a well-preserved female skeleton in a cemetery at the site of Rakhigarhi. By 2019, a team of geneticists successfully extracted and sequenced her DNA, providing the first direct look at the genome of a mature Harappan. Comparing RGR-H1 against later populations reveals a mix of ancient Iranian farmers and Southeast Asian hunter-gatherers, with zero steppe pastoralist ancestry. Steppe DNA only appears in the post-urban timeline, proving migrations occurred after the cities decentralized, refuting an invader-caused collapse. The Harappans did not vanish. As they dispersed across the subcontinent, they carried their agricultural knowledge and their genetics with them. They merged with new populations, becoming the foundational ancestors of the diverse society living in South Asia today.